Welcome to the Fast Break, the fastest 15 or so minutes in the NBA. You are live on the Morgan You Know Podcasting Network. I am Jimmy. My co-hosts are, as always, from, Bloomington, Chris King. Chris, old man, how are you tonight?
What is up, Jimmy? It's been an exciting week, has it not?
It's been a great week for basketball, great week for wrestling, and a great week for broadcast networks. Mr. John Tesh fan himself, the Morgan You Know, Mr. Morgan You Know, should I say. Rod Morgan. Rod, how's it going tonight?
I am excited. We had some breaking news in the world of broadcasters, Jimmy. You know, I like to follow that as if it is a sport, right? Because somewhere deep in my heart, I wish that I would have been able to follow a path that I could have been a play-by-play man myself. So I love to follow all that. And we got some news. Carmelo Anthony is going to be in studio for NBA on NBC. Vince Carter is going to be in studio for NBA on NBC. We got Reggie Miller, Jamal Crawford as your analyst, Mike Tirico, and Ian Eagle or Noah Eagle, excuse me, as your NBA play-by-playman.
Yeah.
And Jimmy, is there somebody else that I'm missing?
I believe we have a special contributor, His Airness himself, the GOAT, and that's really non-negotiable. Michael Jordan is signed on to be on the NBA on NBC. Now, if you're a special contributor and you're Michael Jordan, I'm going to give you guys an over-under of appearances that he makes during the year. I'm going to set that over-under at 3.5 appearances per year. Chris, over-under.
I'm going over.
Wow.
Not much. I think he's going to hit 6.
6 appearances. Okay, Rod?
Ooh, see, Chris, I like that. I'm definitely going with over. Jimmy, I think you set the number too low. If you gave me a number
a little too low on that.
If you gave me a 5.5 number, I'd have to really think about which way I was going to go on that. But 3.5, I think, is too low. Because if you're NBC, you want the name, right? You're willing to let Michael do almost anything, but you're going to really try to milk as much out of him as you can. So the way I figure it, right, they've got the All-Star game this year, so we're definitely going to get some sort of appearance from him out of the All-Star game, right? We're going to get something out of the gate with him with the premiere. So there's 2 knocked out there, right? He's got to come around sometime during the playoffs, and guaranteed they're going to have him interview somebody, right? Because that'll be easy for him to set it up where any.
That's 3 there. That's only 3, so.
But the interview,
you forget about the in-season tournament.
In-season tournament, maybe
games,
Christmas
definitely.
Day games. I don't think he's gonna get dressed up for Christmas Day. It's Michael Jordan,
about
right?
Appearances though, can he just, like I said, have done an interview and then they run it on Christmas Day? Does that count as an appearance by the special correspondent?
See, I think it kind of has to, because I mean he could basically knock everything out in an hour. You know, I mean he could do his 4 different 15-minute segments here, another 4 different 15, and they've got it for all year. So that could definitely be something that happens.
Chris, what do you think about this, though? Were you as excited as I was when this broke?
I was kind of shocked, right? Because Michael Jordan doesn't do media, right? This is
none.
So outside of what we have expected from him his entire career. So shocked and excited.
So also, will he be holding an iPad?
Nice.
No.
That's the Michael I want to see, right? That's a great question, though, Jimmy. There's no chance we get the Michael that was in The Last Dance, do we?
But we are going to get something unique, though, because we had the crying Jordan meme, right? We've had the iPad that is still going, and I took that personally. We've had that going. So now, again, reinventing himself, he's got to come out with something new.
See, you said he was the GOAT, and it's non-negotiable, and he just keeps showing us in different ways.
Right. You even forgot the most audacious one, the Hitler mustache.
I mean, I don't really want to go there, but
listen, that just means Michael can really just do anything, and he's going to require that he's allowed to be himself. I'm sure he's not going in there getting prepped by some PR firm or anything. He's going to be the same type of Last Dance Michael.
He is, I'm sure. So that's really all the big news that happened in the NBA this week, except for one little gentleman's sweep. The Indiana Pacers, our Indiana Pacers. And, when we say that, sometimes we kind of joking a little bit. No, they're our Pacers. Our Pacers have defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers 4-1. Unbelievable. Just I loved watching every second of it. Now, my wife hated it because my children, I don't know if you noticed, if you guys are really big fans or not, after every single call, the decibel level in our house was loud. And that's me saying that, guys. It was very, very loud. Pacers win. They kind of destroyed the Cavaliers. I mean, they really did. Props to Donovan Mitchell. But, Chris, what did you take out of that series?
That so it really was almost like you saw a switch. Cleveland played more like Indiana did at the beginning of the season, where Indiana played much like Cleveland did throughout the regular season. A team-oriented, unselfish style basketball. I know Cleveland had some injuries during this series, but you could tell it was a more complete team and really a team that looked like they should have been the number one seed instead of Cleveland the way they played this series.
Yeah, I think their depth was very important. Carlisle continues to just go deep in that rotation throughout the playoffs, and a lot of teams don't. Rod, a lot of teams are using excuses of, injuries and what if this happened, what if that. It doesn't really matter. It's what happened, Rod. And I think the Pacers took full advantage of that.
I heard something interesting from Kenny Atkinson, right? That at first glance can kind of seem like it's a dig, but then when you realize it, it's like, no, he's right. He called the Pacers almost like an NCAA team. And what he means by that is like nobody in the NBA picks up as far up court as the Pacers do, right? Like nobody touches their way that they will come up, and like they're almost running the NBA's equivalent of a press, right? And Carlisle doesn't care. He still goes 9-10 deep all the way through this playoffs, right? Because the reason he does that is the Pacers are not going to stop. Aaron Nesmith does not stop. Aaron Nembhard does not stop. Tyrese Halliburton continues to push the ball. I'm not going to talk about Tyrese on the defensive end, but as long as he's at least attempting to try something and he's kind of tall, he sort of can at least fall in, and the Pacers they're relentless. And Obi Toppin, I don't know how long you want to keep somebody around making $15 million that only gets to play the few amount of minutes he does, but that guy's come a long way. Like the Pacers are just, if you talk about how the NBA has become over homogenized with too many teams playing similar, watch the Indiana Pacers and tell me that they play like everybody else in the NBA, because they absolutely don't. It's great to watch.
And when you have that all go all the time, and you've got 5 or 6 guys that you can do that press with, going against someone who doesn't have their starting point guard at full capacity with Darius Garland, you have people bringing up the ball that shouldn't be bringing up the ball just because they're tired. Everyone else is tired. Donovan Mitchell, people have always said it's all him, but his teams can't win. Yeah, you're right. He came out in that game. First of all, we didn't know he was going to play. And there was a point in the fourth quarter, and we all know that point. I think he hit 3 threes in a row. It's like, oh my goodness, is he going to do this, Chris?
He has gotten a lot of grief over the last few years, and I think it's a little bit unwarranted because he can do just about anything he wants to on a basketball court, right? And he has shown this year, especially, where he can take a step back and I don't have to do everything with this team. I can be what they need and do what they need. And in this series, unfortunately, they did kind of need him to be Superman, and he damn well near delivered.
He did. So what an exciting turn of events for the Pacers. And now we have to go to another turn of events that was not as exciting. Obviously, if you're listening to our show, you've listened to every show about this. But the Knicks were going up 3-1 no matter what happened in the game. They were going to win the game. But Jason Tatum, man, we've talked about this so much, Rod. With Dame Lillard, we talked about it. We know we're all doctors now with the Achilles tear. We all know what it is, and we were all right. We didn't even hear about it until after he had surgery, Rod.
Yeah, and I kind of sort of like that approach, right? Like, let's say we know what this is. We're going to get after it right now. I mean, we're literally going to get after it right now. Your Achilles is ruptured. Okay, boom. We're going to get you scheduled for surgery, and let's get you immediately on the rehab push. I probably don't want to see Jason Tatum back. He's young enough that if you give him that entire year off, hopefully he can get back to 85% of what he once was. And since Tatum is kind of big and strong and can shoot, you hope that that'll still hold up to an almost all NBA level for a few more years. But it's just terrible, right? And I think the moment after he was injured, a lot of people are talking about writhing in pain. Like, yeah, I think that was writhing in pain, but I think that's two kinds of pain coming out in Jason Tatum right there. That's the pain of rupturing his Achilles and understanding what all of it meant, right? I think that Celtics team is going to be different next year. I think they might have been different next year even had they won the championship. So I think all of those guys really like one another. They've enjoyed playing together. They all came back single-minded and whipped into shape by psycho Joe Mazzulla, ready to try to defend that championship, and it all went away right there. They might still have a chance to beat the Knicks, but I think their chance to win the championship went away the moment Jason Tatum ruptures Achilles. And I'm sad because I'm a Celtics fan, but I don't think Jason Tatum's career is over, which some of the talk afterwards, it sort of was taking that turn. And I was like, wait, whoa, hold on here.
Calm down. He's still young, and we've got to remember, everybody, I know patience is very difficult in this day and age. He's going to be out a year. That next year when he comes back, he will not be Jason Tatum. He's got to get back and just work on the strength, work on building it. So he's not going to be the all-NBA person, probably. That second year coming back, kind of like Tommy John surgery, Chris. You got to give him a year to get back in the swing of things.
I'm gonna circle back real quick.
Williams, hey buddy.
I will say that Boston has a real shot of beating New York, especially if New York continues to shoot as poorly as they did the other game. I think they shot 35% for the game. You're not going to win any NBA game shooting like that. But
listen, when Luke Cornett's running around the paint blocking 7 shots, Chris, you're going to get a little nervous, all right? It's kind of like when Doc Holliday got on the shotgun at the OK Corral to defend his buddy Wyatt Earp, right? He's like, everybody's going to be a little more nervous with Doc on the street howitzer, right? When Luke Cornett's out there blocking shots, you better watch out.
Yeah, no one's looked at Luke Cornett and thought I better watch out like they did with Doc Holliday, Rod. But okay.
And again, that's so cool. They came out and they didn't lay down. They won. They may win a game 6, and anything can happen in game 7 at home. So why not? Let's go for it.
But that's why people
on the
come
West,
here, Chris. They come here to hear me make similes. Similes? Is it a simile, Jim, or is it an analogy?
A metaphor.
Which one is it?
It's a metaphor, but
what's a simile? Why did I say simile?
Now, Chris, simile is like or as. A metaphor is what you said. But right. Chris was around when they actually created those words, so that's why he knew it so quickly. It was just a comparison beforehand, and then they kind of broadened it out.
Tatum does have a shot at coming back, though, fairly strong from an Achilles injury, all right? We have come a long way in rehabilitation and everything else like that. So let's say Boston's smart, lets him sit, doesn't try to push him back to get into the playoffs next year, right? And lets him have this offseason to recover from surgery, start rehabbing during the season, and then have a full calendar year of rehab. He has a shot at being almost back to normal by the start of next season.
There was I'm sorry, Jim, real quick on the Tatum front. There was a report that he actually has had a new kind of Achilles surgery that has actually only come around within the past 6 years, and it's more about like building a support into the heel versus what they used to do a lot of times is like they would get actual nylon and staples and kind of just like almost tie it up and staple it together and try to like repair it that way. Now there's more of a support that they kind of come through the heel. So, they've made advancements in technology for so many other things. Maybe the Achilles again can be different.
How crazy is that's what we're doing now? Hey, we're going to go through your foot and we're going to put a brace on it, and it's going to be part of your body. It's cool. Just go with it. You'll be fine.
Listen, I'm an old man. I remember when Dominique Wilkins tore his Achilles, right? And before him, it was almost a career ender. And that dude came back within 12 months and started playing again. And that was unheard of at that time. Now, Wilkins was
a different Neek.
Another type of beast.
Right? He was a different Neek. He was number 12 on the Celtics green, and he was a different Neek after that Achilles.
Yeah, I was going to say that didn't...
He did take Atlanta to the Eastern Conference Finals one more time after he came back, but then you're not wrong. He was older. He wasn't like a young Dominique when that happened. He had already had
that in his favor. He was in his 20s, his late 20s when this happened, not in his 30s.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Chris remembers when he saw people walking around in those big masks, the doctors that came in. Anyway,
The plague mask, yes.
Yeah. That was in your 30s, I think, is when that happened. In the Western Conference, we have the T-Wolves beating the Warriors. Warriors really, obviously, when Steph went down, it was going to be pretty hard for them to come back. Playoff Jimmy was not exactly playoff Jimmy. Still did pretty good, overall. But the T-Wolves are in the Western Conference Finals and will face either the Nuggets or Thunder. They're facing each other off right now. They're really neck and neck in the second quarter, so we really can't talk about that very much. But T-Wolves, Rod, we are close, Rod. We are very close to having a T-Wolves Knicks finals where the offseason huge storyline can become now the championship storyline. Now, none of us want that, but it's something to think about.
No, listen, I will address that as long as you come back to me to talk about something else with the Wolves Warrior series before we leave it. But you're absolutely right. I don't know that we would ever have a situation in NBA history, right? Like, we don't have a producer that can look this up for us real quick because, Jimmy, we're not going to do that to you, right? But I believe we've never had a trade where, like, two teams did a trade. Surprisingly, right? We didn't know Karl Anthony Towns was going to get traded for Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. That wasn't a thing that was talked about. And it happened all of a sudden a couple of weeks before the season. And then those two teams are going to meet up in the NBA Finals. And it's going to be almost like a rare, it worked for both sides, right? Karl Anthony Towns has been amazing. He was an all-star for the Knicks this year. He's played amazing versus the Celtics. As much as I don't want to give Cat any credit, he's been tough there on the inside. And Julius Randle is becoming an absolute different person somehow. And it's been amazing for the Timberwolves. So we have a rare scenario where it's a win-win trade for both sides, and it almost gets relegated, Jimmy, and then land in the days of everything has to be graded. If Knicks Wolves do meet up, I guess whoever wins the finals wins that trade, right? We could just put it to bed.
All right, so here we're going to take a quick timeout, Chris. I know you're going to love this timeout. Okay, so obviously I googled it real quick, and Google has this AI overview, right? I want to just tell you what AI told me, and this might be a reason why we don't do AI. Yes, this has happened before. The 2025 NBA offseason saw a significant trade between the Los Angeles Lakers and Dallas Mavericks involving Luka Doncic and Anthony Davis that resulted in them facing each other in the NBA Finals. This trade, one of the most impactful in NBA history, led to both teams being contenders for the title, making the finals matchup a direct result of the trade. So it has happened before this year, Rod.
Wow. See, you know what that says to me, though, Jimmy? The Luka trade was so crazy, it even broke AI's brain.
Hey, Chris, talk to me about your thoughts on AI real quick while I look at something.
I mean, it's an oxymoron, right? Just like military intelligence. Now it's artificial intelligence. It's worthless.
Okay, so
all our military listeners out there.
So the closest we came is 2017 trade between the Cavs and the Celtics, where Kyrie was sent to Boston in exchange for Isaiah Thomas and Jay Crowder, but the Cavs made it to the finals. Obviously, they couldn't have faced the Celtics in the finals. So again, Microsoft Copilot. 2013 trade between the Brooklyn Nets and Boston Celtics. They couldn't face each other in the finals either. So yeah,
I think it'll just be amazing. But the other thing that I want to point out here, Jim, is that I'm going to be really bummed out if this was the last time we got a chance to see Steph Curry in the playoffs and he had to go out on the bench having a hamstring injury and not even there to fight with his team one last time, right? Because I don't think it's over for the Warriors, right? They're kind of in for 5 cents. Why not go in for a dime here with the Jimmy Butler trade already? So I think they're going to be trying to improve their team next year. I think they're going to cut bait on everything that's happening there. Certainly they'll move other pieces around, but Steph might not have as good of a chance as, because I think the Warriors with Steph, they have a chance to beat the Wolves because the Wolves just do some boneheaded things from time to time, and we'll see how that plays out when they take on either Oklahoma City or Denver. But I'm bummed that that's how Steph's going to go out, Jim, and that's all I else wanted to say about that.
There's a report today that Kuminga is reaching an agreement with the Warriors for a sign and trade.
It would have to be That's interesting. Well, like they would maybe sign and trade him somewhere, and they have to figure out where that would be. Yeah, I was going to say, Chris, thank you for that. I was going to say Kuminga's going to be gone, and they'll get something for him because Kuminga's one of those players. I think Simmons said this, or it might have been Zach Lowe, because obviously we are big fans of them, where he has to play a lot to kind of get in the rhythm, and he can't be doing this 5 and 7 minute, each half type of thing. So I think Kuminga's going to be on a team that's probably not that good next year, but he's going to be pretty good next year. So there's that one as well. Wow, that was a lot to talk about. Nothing really else to except for this little NBA draft lottery that happened, and I called it. I am so good at everything NBA. I am the defending champion in our wins league. No one can touch me there. And who called the lottery? Who loves anarchy? This guy here, the Dallas Mavericks, won the lottery because, gentlemen, of course they did.
Who would you guys rather have, Luka or Flag?
Luka Doncic. I would rather have Luka Doncic.
Yeah, I'd rather have the guy who I saw take a team to the finals twice, or Western Conference Finals twice, NBA Finals once.
This is so big for Dallas Maverick fans that had their hearts ripped out. It'll be really nice in 3 years when they trade Cooper Flag as well. I think it's a really cool opportunity for them. Kyrie's out next year, so you have Cooper Flag's rookie year where he's just learning the game, everything like that. My question is real quick though: do you think Anthony Davis is on this team next year? I think they should keep him. Why not, Rod?
Oh yeah, I think ultimately what you want to have is Derek Lively, Anthony Davis, and Cooper Flag and Kyrie Irving, right? Those are the four.
Not bad.
Have. Those are the four that you want to have because you're going to still hopefully have Lively on the back end of his rookie deal, right? You're going to have Cooper Flag definitely still on a rookie deal and, probably be able to make all that happen. I don't understand. The Celtics have a huge bill coming. So apparently when you put together a team with depth, you're going to have to end up paying for it in this new NBA structure. But hey, listen, Nico's playing 4D chess and the rest of us are playing checkers, I guess, right? That's the thing that bums me out because, Jimmy, you're dead right about the fans. They didn't ask for Luka to be traded. Their hearts got ripped out. That's terrible. But it bums me out that friggin' Nico Harrison's now going to get bailed out, because he gets Cooper Flag blessed to his team.
He does. And hey, speaking of depth, just remember, Pacers fans, you've got you've got a couple years left, and then it's going to look pretty bad. I think a lot of people are going to be leaving.
Okay,
go ahead, Chris.
stop.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
You've said this in the past, right? I've heard it year after year during certain times of the Pacers that it's going to be tough to stay competitive. We're going to lose a lot of guys. Blah, 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 blah. The Pacers are an organization that doesn't settle for that, Jimmy. We are competing.
Oh, I know. I mean, just this team that we have now, money-wise, actually, they have a little bit better than I thought, honestly. Ben Mathurin has 2 years left, but Nembhard has 5. Halliburton has 5, Siakam 4, Toppin 4, Nesmith 3. So they got at least 3 more years of 90% of their core. So they're fine.
You didn't mention TJ McConnell there, though. That's going to be.
He's got 1 year left, unfortunately. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure TJ McConnell always has 1 year left on his contract.
He's awesome too. We gotta love TJ. San Antonio Spurs now have 2 lottery picks in every draft, apparently, and they got this second pick here. Are you keeping this pick for Harper, or are you going to trade this pick, Chris?
If I'm San Antonio, I'm probably trading the pick for either future picks, or something else. But I don't think if I'm the Spurs, I don't necessarily need this pick at this level. I'm sure it's probably worth a lot more to somebody else.
Rod, I mean, is this a pick where you're calling and you're saying, hey, Giannis, hey, Jaylen Brown, hey, Kevin Durant, anything like that? Or are you going to keep the pick and go with Harper?
I think you draft Dylan Harper here and you match him and Victor Wembanyama up. Their timelines are a little bit closer than, say, De'Aaron Fox, right? Like, I think that was a smart trade by the Spurs. They actually didn't have to pay a huge price to get a guy that has a ceiling like De'Aaron Fox at certain times. So I think that was great for them to bring him in. But I think the Spurs should look at trading all of their draft equity and a guy like Keldon Johnson and a guy like Devin Vassell and things of that nature before they even remotely go to we're gonna trade the number 2 pick. I wouldn't do that.
So maybe not go for that Giannis type. Go for like a tier down and try to trade like 14.
What's the price really going to be for Giannis?
Everything.
Here's the thing. But here's the thing. Giannis is going to be able to pick where he goes. That's just how this thing works, right? So it's not going to be a situation where it's really going to be a bidding war. It's not, right? It's going to be a situation where Giannis is going to pick where he wants to go. And if he says that he wants to go to San Antonio to play with Victor, then it's just going to be, all right, we got to make it work somehow. And then that's when San Antonio can be like, all right, I'll throw you all these draft picks. And they got enough contracts to match it up.
Does Giannis have that in his contract that he can dictate that? Because I think the Mavericks...
No one does, Chris, but no one does.
I'm pretty sure the Mavericks and the Lakers proved this year that you can get traded to wherever they say.
Yeah, just don't tell anybody.
Well, I'm just saying, so Giannis may not have a real choice. I'm just saying.
If Giannis comes out and says that he wants to be traded, and then there's no chance that the Milwaukee Bucks can surprisingly trade him. That's what I'm saying. And clearly Giannis has already put the trial balloon out there.
And then we have the Philadelphia 76ers. You can make a lot of bad decisions and still be okay with it. The Sixers needed to get this pick. If not, they would have been out of the top 10. They would have had the 7th pick, and that would have gone, obviously, to Oklahoma City.
And hold on
76ers are
in Jim.
Yeah, go ahead.
Kevin Nagandi, my man. Come on. You've got to be better. You've got to be better to know that you can't say that until we actually get to the top 4, because there's still a chance that the Sixers could have jumped up there. You've got to know that as a broadcaster. That's literally
especially because it was
been going over.
Well, it was weird because I was like, okay, so this pick has to be Oklahoma City then. It has to be 7. It has to be OKC. And it wasn't. So then that was like, wait, how was that possible? Because OKC can't jump up. So that was tough. That was rough there for sure.
I get that,
and then you have your
drama because, like you said, that's what we all tuned in for, right? We wanted to see who was number 1, and then we wanted to see if the Sixers were going to be forgiven for their tanking. Which, Chris, I know you were happy to see that they weren't given the number 1 pick because it was some blatant tanking that the Sixers were doing there at the end. And I know you probably enjoyed seeing that it wasn't the Wizards, it wasn't the Hornets, it wasn't the Jazz, right? You probably dug that thing, didn't you? I am sad for Wizards fans. I am. I'm sad for Wizards fans.
Yeah. So a lot of people obviously were upset. Oh, it's rigged. It's obviously not rigged. There's media members in there. There's like all these different balls. You can't rig this lottery. Okay. You can't.
We all trust Zach Lowe. Zach Lowe was in the room. He said it's on the level. That's all I need to hear.
Yeah. And that's all I need. But everyone is then complaining, well, we need to change it because all these teams that are bad. But all these teams that are bad, your Hornets, your Jazz, your Wizards, your 76ers, all were bad on purpose. They tanked on purpose. They didn't get hurt with injuries. Philadelphia, with Embiid, got it. But then they just threw everything away. I played 4 games for the 76ers this year, guys. I did. Okay?
I forgot about that.
I know. It was fun. It was not easy. But anyway.
It was like hanging with Mr. Cooper. Remember that was the plot of the show on ABC? He had a 10-day.
Got the Warriors. Yeah, he did 10-day with the Warriors. So this is saying, Chris, instead of tanking to get the best opportunity, that 14%, play the season, see what happens, do the best you can, and then anything can happen, right?
Right, exactly. Because losing doesn't get you anywhere. Trying to lose,
you're a loser,
is a horrible way to run a franchise and a horrible way to treat your fans. All right. And fans, if you're out there, and I know some of you are, who want your teams to tank on purpose to try to get better, you don't deserve to win or be able to celebrate as a fan.
You know what I was just thinking of?
Wow.
Because you said Jerry at Seinfeld, instead of I choose not to run, I choose not to win.
You know what? That's a good way to end that's a good way to end this. And with that, you have been listening to the Fast Break on the More You Know Live on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, all that. Stay tuned, everybody. We've got WWE coming up right now.
I just gave you Hanging with Mr. Cooper and Tombstone in an NBA playoff show. That's what you come here for.
Goodbye, Internet.